Welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm gonna try to be a little bit more quiet because people are sleeping, but today we're gonna do a Madden 21 video because they released the gridiron notes for Madden 21 today, and I'm just gonna show you guys if you haven't already seen the gridiron notes. So we're gonna look into this. If you guys haven't yet done it, subscribe, turn on notifications, and for this video, if you can, like, comment, and if you want dislike, you can do what you want because you guys are nice to me. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, if you guys could subscribe, it would mean a lot because 97% of you guys aren't subscribed. That means like the other 4% is subscribed. So thank to all those other 4%. But if you guys, all the other 97% can, if you guys can, subscribe. And let's get into this video. Sorry if there's stuff on it. It's just my iPad that I don't really use. Okay. So they focused on run defense, apparently. That was a problem last year, but simply put, stopping the run game in Madden 20 was too difficult for most. For Madden 21, we aim for a balanced run-pass ratio, so we've made improvements to our run fits and defensive gaps system, with a strong emphasis on the force defender, who's the defender responsible for setting the edge versus the run. Here's some specific improvements we've made towards this goal, that goal. Force defenders aligned on the line of scrimmage at the snap will use wider angles at the start of the play to show more anticipation and better pursuit prediction to set the edge versus outside running plays. So basically, they're saying edge threat guys or defensive ends or the force defender, whatever you want to call those, they will now be able to get to the edge better and stop the outside run. So that's good. Force defenders will show more anticipation in their pursuit angles at the start of the play when facing quick hitting outside running players such as jet sweep and touch pass, so that they'll get in better position to set the edge. Okay, now we're on to this. Hammer and fill players, who are the defenders in the run fit responsible for the open gaps. So these guys are the guys that you bring on a blitz and there's open gaps. They go through it, basically. But hammer and fill players, who are defenders on the run fit in the run fit responsible for the open gaps inside of the force player, will take wider initial pursuit angles versus outside running plays. That will help them get over the top towards the outside of the formation quicker and prevent them from getting mirrored up inside of blockers and other traffic. Okay, let's just go up a little bit. Force defenders will have wider formation alignments in many base defensive formations such as 3-4, and more plays within those base formations will have the force player aligned on the line of scrimmage instead of off the ball. Edge and force defenders will have wider gap integrity versus heavy/wing tight end sets. New improved blocking interactions with defenders disrupting running lanes by pushing blockers further into the backfield during engagements versus all run types. Defenders will have better anticipation of the ball carrier's movements by taking smarter angles while after shedding blocks. So they basically revamped the run game a little bit so it's more balanced. And now we're going to be able to have to pass more in Madden 21, which is a good thing because the run was way too overpowered in Madden 20. They made tackling improvements. In addition to the upgrades to our run fit system, we know how important tackling is to run defense as well. We didn't just add the new breakdown and pile-on tackles. We also made some core improvements to existing tackling systems to make tackling more accessible and a stronger part of countering the run game. Defenders will now be able to be much more aware when they're engaged in blocks near a ball carrier, and they will trigger tackle attempts from these engaged blocks inside the trenches and in the open field versus impact blocks. Oh my gosh, guys, this is a lot to take in. Hit sticks and dive tackles have been tuned to make them more accessible and functional, all of which come together with our new breakdown tackles for a more intuitive defensive experience. So basically, they improved tackling, like tuned, not improved, but like more like tuned tackling a bit and changed it a bit. So that's gonna be useful. Now we have the location-based tackles. One of the new features that has the Madden developer team really excited is location-based tackles. These are tackles where you see the running back reach out the ball out for the pylon at the last second to get the critical touchdown, or while where the tackling defender will struggle and strain to keep the ball carrier from reaching the first down stakes on a huge fourth down. Here's a quick breakdown on how these work. These tackling interactions make our players more aware of their field location and react accordingly, including the pylon, goal line, sideline, and first down marker. While there's not a direct button on the input sticks for these tackles, so basically we're not going to be able to activate this manually. It's just going to activate sometimes. Okay, they will be driven by player ratings and superstar abilities. In addition to the abilities, the defender's tackle and awareness ratings compared to the ball carrier's vision and awareness will drive the outcome of these interactions dynamically. So these are going to be pretty good, and they're going to be pretty big in Madden 21. This one's a big one. Zone drop coach adjustments. I'm guessing these, like, you know where we used to run in Madden 20 when people just kept spamming you with corner routes and they kept working every single time. Or basically routes that kept working over and over against your corner and the corner didn't do anything about it. Well, now you can do zone drop coach adjustment, and I'll just read it. We're introducing a new set of coach adjustments that will allow you as the defensive player to customize the depth of your zone drops for underneath zone defenders. These coaching adjustments will give you the ability to change the drop depths of flat, hook, and curl flats in an increment of 5 yards up to a max of 30 yards from the line of scrimmage. When using these adjustments, keep in mind that all match zone logic will be disabled in all zone coverage plays while using the adjustments, including the deep zone players. When facing a new no-huddle offense, you can turn off these coaching adjustments by using the reset play option and pre-play adjustments menu. Okay, so now we're on to quarterback and passing improvements. With a more balanced run game comes more reliance on the air attack. To ensure that players will have the tools they need to run more balanced offenses in Madden 21, we have made some significant improvements to throwing the football. Throwing out of sacks. All quarterbacks will have the ability to throw while being tackled. That is really good for us. Because last year, every time I tried to throw the ball, my quarterback just took the sack and it would never let me get the ball off. But now that they have this, let me just read the rest. The accuracy and power of the pass are dictated largely by physics. The further into the passing animation the quarterback is at the point of contact, the more likely the pass will be accurate. That's what I was going to say. Like, let's say your quarterback is about to throw it, and early guy, like a defender, is about to sack him. If he hits him earlier, it's going to cause an inaccurate pass or maybe a fumble or maybe an interception. But if it comes out later, before the guy hits him, then it'll be an accurate pass. But the more likely, however, if at any point the quarterback's arm or shoulder are hit during the pass, that too can impact the accuracy. Throwing out of sacks does carry some risk as well. The earlier in the throwing animation, this is basically what I said, is the quarterback is hit in a combination The earlier in the throwing animation the quarterback is hit, and in combination with the quarterback's strength rating, the more likely he will fumble. So basically what I said. Okay, deep passes under pressure. New to Madden 21 are under pressure throwing animations, which allow quarterbacks to contextually speed up their throwing motions when feeling pressure on deep passes. Throws of 40 or more yards from the spot of the pass to lead to the landing spot. These animations are dictated by threat to impact prediction, meaning that at the time the pass has initiated, if the QB thinks he will get hit by an oncoming defender before the release of the pass, he will use an under pressure animation, and the quarterback's throw under pressure rating will modify both the power and the accuracy of the pass. So this is also good. Quarterback branch outs. Quarterbacks can now quickly branch out of the drop back to throw the ball at any time. As soon as the quarterback has received the snap, if a receiver button input is given, the quarterback will immediately branch out of his existing behavior and throw the ball to the intended receiver, which also includes branching out of play action fakes. Quarterbacks will have more control to branch out of the drop back to scramble by moving the stick toward either 45 degrees angle away from the line of scrimmage, while also re-enabling the controller rollout movement, which you can toggle by tapping RT or R2, depending on what console you play on. Along with this change, the quick throw inaccurate from Madden 20 has been turned off. Accuracy and power tuning. With the variety of improvements done to passing, we also did some tuning to improve under pressure and cross-body passing accuracy to bring more balance for both by making the inaccurate penalties more contextually appropriate to the situation. This is a big one too. We added a new max distance passing power penalty, which will activate when targeting a receiver who is deeper than the quarterback's max distance. The max passing distance for each quarterback is dictated by his throw power. This penalty also decreases the strength of the pass when throwing deep passes on the run, with more severe penalties to throw power for cross-body throws. Enhance the in-game passing feedback tags so that players will have more transparent understanding about the result of each type of throw. Parity for handoff animations. All handoff animations have been tuned so that respective handoffs are the same speed going either direction. This one's a big one too. Pass interference and illegal contact. We've added support for more robust management of user-controlled pass interference and also, for the first time, the illegal contact penalty. The goal for these is preventing users from intentionally obstructing receivers from getting to their routes or the catch spot while trying to overlook incidental and unintentional contact. These penalties will be used in both competitive and simulation game styles and will be called primarily on user-controlled defenders. For franchise players, these penalties can be adjusted by the penalties setting menu. Okay, defensive contained balancing. This one was big too. One of the more popular online strategies in Madden 20 was the contained blitz. Players told us that this felt unbalanced because unblocked contained players were very effective pass rushers, but also very quick to react to scrambling quarterbacks. So again, on the theme of balance, we made some change to contained behavior in Madden 21. When utilizing pass rush schemes that free up the contained player from being blocked via an overload to either side, that player will now rush the quarterback at a slower speed than if he were not in the contained assignment. As long as the quarterback is inside the pocket and not using the scrambling movement, The contained player will be moving at a speed slow enough to read the quarterback when with the intent to keep him in the pocket, but break will not break into a full speed rush unless the quarterback starts to scramble. This change will bring balance by giving the defense the ability to quickly react to a scrambling quarterback with an unblocked contained player, while giving up a little power in the pass rush. Okay, catching responsiveness. Like many of our other features and improvements, Madden 21 has a strong focus on player control and agency. Catching is no different. We've made a few tweaks to our catching system to offer more stick work towards making plays. Players can now dictate the direction they want to catch to take them as they secure the catch via left stick input. For example, when holding up / vertical on left stick and using the possession catch, you'll be selecting a possession catch that will fall in the same direction as your stick input, ensuring the receiver won't go to the ground short of the sticks. This increase in control is also critical when throwing underneath routes, as the responsiveness also allows receivers to quickly turn up the field after using a run after catch. One obvious case to notice this improvement is when a receiver is nearing the sideline, the user will have the control to keep him in bounds as he turns up the field rather than running out of bounds. So that one's going to help quite a bit. Player personnel packaging. For those who like to get creative with formation personnel on offense, we have added a new way to use packages and formation subs while using audibles. The pre-play audibles system now considers the actual personnel on the field when changing your personnel in the play call menu, either via packages or formation subs. Your pre-play audibles will now match on the personnel package on the field if you are using 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends, in a formation like gun empty flex. You will be able to audible to any other formation in your playbook that also allows 12 personnel. For now, this feature only applies to the offense, but as it continues to evolve, we are looking for opportunities to continue to expand on it. Balance for repeated audibles and / play flips and pre-play. This one was a big one because every time I played someone, they just kept audibling, and it made my defense not move at all. And then they just kept spamming the run against me, and they kept getting more and more yards. So, another aspect of bringing more balance to the run-pass ratio in Madden 21 is an authentic solution. I don't know if I said that right. For spamming audibles and play flips by the offense before the snap until an advantageous alignment for a running play is found. This popular tactic will now carry some risk. The offense will now have the risk of an offensive lineman committing a false start penalty after the use of multiple audibles or play flips, and the chance of the penalty will significantly increase with each additional audible thereafter. This penalty has been put in place to stimulate the confusion of an offensive player would likely have if the quarterback changed the play 3 to 6 times while sitting his I think that's a typo, his pre-play stance the entire time, and it applies to all game styles and difficulty levels. Player strategy out of position ball carriers. Madden 20 was a year of the gadget play for many, but players told us that gadget plays were too frequently relied on as the primary source of consistent offense. In response, you'll now have to strategically manage the workload for ball carriers who are not a primary running back or risk penalties to their ratings via strategy for overuse. After a player who is not running it who is not a running back by trade, such as quarterback, wide receiver, or tight end, has carried the ball as a primary ball carrier or on multiple consecutive plays, that player will start to quickly deplete his stamina, especially on tackles and hit sticks. This risk applies to non-running backs in plays like wildcat power, jet sweep, touch pass, and quarterback blast. And as they get tired, you'll notice them become less effective on the field, regardless of their role thereafter. These players will need to be subbed out if overused. If not subbed out, their play will continue to degrade as they get more tired. This system will be used on both competitive and simulation game styles. With this change is a significant reduction to fumbles by scrambling quarterbacks on all game styles except for all Madden competitive. However, as players start to get more fatigued, the likelihood of fumbling will naturally increase. So that's going to help. Kicking game tuning. We received feedback from players that some aspects of the kicking game were in need of some improvement, so here's a list of some changes there. Kick meter on competitive game style has been tuned to be more skill-based, meaning it will be more difficult to get accurate kicks for competitive play, and missing the accuracy window will be slightly more punitive. Kick power and / wind impact has been tuned on simulation game style so that kickers and punters don't always launch unrealistically deep kicks, while the speed wind impact on the kicking game will be less significant. We've tuned ball physics to be more skid to the ball on kicks bouncing on the turf to make the coffin corner kick exploits known in the community as the scum kick much more difficult to execute. So these are ability improvements. In Madden 20, we introduced Superstar xfactor abilities into the game. While these abilities brought a ton of excitement and different strategies to gameplay, we also recognize that in our first attempt at adding this in this game context, that some of our abilities were a bit unbalanced. Here's some of the most critical changes we made to the existing Superstar xfactor abilities. Okay, this is long. Wide receivers have a number of abilities granting them to catching bonuses on specific route types. These abilities, while strong, were difficult to use since they required detailed knowledge of your team's playbook or very specific hot routes that might not always be available. In Madden 21, hold on guys, I'm trying to get that off. I'll just ignore it. Madden 21, we have reworked these abilities to grant their bonuses when the receiver catches the ball in specific areas of the field, regardless of the route they're on. This allows them to accomplish the initial goal of creating receivers that excel at making plays on specific route types while making them much easier to utilize. Okay. Coverage defender ability balancing. On the other side of the ball, we've had the opposite issue with coverage defender abilities in Madden 20. Abilities like man up, zoned out, and universal coverage were essentially one-stop shops. It was too easy to pick up one of these abilities on a defender and just set it and forget it. Ultimately, we didn't like how easy it was to make a defensive powerhouse with very little ability investment. As a solution to this, we have split up these abilities into multiple versions that grant their bonuses across the specific areas of the field, mirroring the new wide receiver abilities. Now, coverage defenders will need to specialize on defense, defending on an area of the field rather than being able to cover the whole gridiron. Additionally, universal coverage has been converted into an xfactor ability, so that idea of the powerhouse play the whole field defender can still exist. You'll just have to earn it via xfactor objectives. Pass lead ability. This one was kind of messed up. The pass lead abilities from Madden 20 were fairly polarizing. They allowed you to make some impressive plays and throw receivers open in the best of circumstances, but more often than not, they could result in throwing uncatchable catches and uncatchable passes that were out of reach of your receivers. In Madden 21, we've removed the increased leading distance of these abilities. Instead, boost the ball's velocity when using the precision pass mechanic on the left stick in combination with bullet pass. This new benefit greatly reduces the ability for defenders to make a play on the ball when making the correct read should prove to be a powerful perk for pocket passers. We have a ton of additional information to share with you regarding new abilities coming in Madden 21, as well as more updates from the previous season that have been reimagined. Stay tuned for upcoming news on Superstar X Factors in Madden 21. So that's all we have. I'm just going to tell you guys the rest of it. There is a new controller layout for both pass rush and ball carrier. And that is, now you truck with Y, which is really weird. I'm not going to be used to that. And then now you, what is it? You can still spin, I think, with B, I believe. But on X, you dive still and all that. LT is now celebration. And then, under right stick, like where you do this with the right stick, like move it. You guys can look at the layout. When you move it like under, you can spin on the right stick. The dead leg is just flicking the right stick down. Up on the right stick is a hurdle. I think when you jerk the right stick, it's a jurtle. And then juking is still the same. And the pass rush, RT is speed rush. And then, what is it? I think it was, yeah, the right stick, you can club or do a swim move. You can bull rush. And then I think you can do this other one. I can't remember. But if you guys enjoyed the video, that's all the news. I'll be bringing out a video next week for franchise. But if you guys enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're not already, and turn on notifications. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.